there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be trying to fix up this camera here, this FUJIFILM FINEPIX HS10. It's got no power whatsoever. So this was sent to me by Lee as a thank you for fixing the red pocket Game Boy. He picked it up locally from Facebook Marketplace. I can't remember what he said it cost. It was either £5, £8 or £10, but very cheap. And I've had a look at it, and it does look very, very, very clean. But I put batteries in it, and there is no power whatsoever. So let me just put the batteries in it now to show you. So here we have the AA batteries, 4 of them in here, and they're all put in the correct way as per the diagram there. And if I close it, that all feels nice and solid, and you can see on, off, doesn't do anything. So I presume it should come to life just by doing that, and it's not. Now, I did notice, and Lee noticed as well, that there's a break here by the tripod mount, so possibly it was on a tripod and it might have dropped. But anyway, we need to take it apart. Right, so I can just see various screws. I can see that this screw's already been undone, which is slightly worrying. This one here. They're just all little Phillips. So yeah, what I was thinking is if I could get it working, it would make possibly a nice B-roll camera, maybe, because it does all look very clean and tidy, and according to the box it is full HD, so it should be 1080p. So you never know, it might if I can get it working, it could be useful for some different camera angles. Let's start undoing the screws and see what happens. So this video today is sponsored by no other than the My Mate Vince Massive, which this month consists of 6 members: Sat9 Cinema, Robert Hughes, Operational 117, KitDigital.com, Cassie Clark and Kip Hakes. So a massive thanks to those 6 and also all the other patrons as well. That takes the pressure off trying to fix videos, because then even if they stop, which they normally will do, at 20, 30 or 40,000 views, it doesn't really matter. Which is nice. So what I'm thinking straight away is that it's something to do with the power switch. That's what I want to get to. I want to see, well, I suppose to begin with I want to see if there's something coming out of the battery pack, but then after that I want to get to the power switch to see what's happening there. So it's all loose around here, but this is the bit that's keeping it together. And I can see that this is kind of like thin metal at the edges here because it kind of dips in, and this is thick. So it looks like this is 2 parts. So let's see if we can pry it open. Oh, here we go. Excellent. Hoping these are the last 4 screws. Yeah, I can feel it's wanting to come apart now. Take that out there. There we go. Excellent. Right, so we're going to have a little ribbon cable here. Let's not damage that. Okay, so it's one of those ones that looks like it's going to flip up. So let me just use my nail, then I'll show the camera. There we go. You see now it's flipped up in that direction there. So now we should be able to just ease that ribbon cable out, and then let's put the flap back down so we don't knock it. Like so. Right, so now this should give us more access into it. It's all very, very, very clean. I wonder if they're the battery, the contact from the battery. Maybe I should let's put the batteries in and let's see if these ones here liven up. They have voltage on them. Just going to volts DC. Yeah, there you go, 6.4 volts. So there's definitely volts going into there. So we know now it's nothing to do with the actual battery contacts or anything like that. So let's take them out before we damage anything. We really need to get to that power switch. Or, well, it's probably me wiggling it now, but is this ribbon cable definitely seated in okay? So when I wiggle that there, yeah, look at that. And that would be probably on that board going down here. Let's open up this. Let's just make sure that that is fully home. I'm just going to get some ceramic tweezers so they're nice and smooth. Ooh, is that pushed more in than it was before? Beforehand we could see the gold, couldn't we? Maybe with the drop, if this was dropped, which there's a strong chance, maybe that's the impact knocked that out. Let's put these in again. Mind you, we haven't got the LCD on. I wonder, would anything else light up? Let's connect it quickly. Mind you, you'd think it would make a sound, wouldn't you? No, still nothing. Right, let's keep dismantling. So I keep on dismantling because I want to get to that power switch, because I believe the power switch is faulty. Annoyingly, because of the location of it, it is the last thing to come out of this when you're dismantling it. So absolutely everything else has to come out. So I'm going to pick up the video now when at long last I have access to this little power switch. There we go. So we're looking at this. This is definitely the on and off switch here, because when you turn this here, yeah, so it's moving that, see that little black thing here is going to be hitting this here. So I'm hoping that that switch is faulty. And when you press in, oh, the little, can you see the little needle comes out the middle there? So that's how you take the pictures. And that must press in too. Here. There, oh yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, so we should be able to test that. So let's test that middle one to begin with. There, and now let's press in. Yeah, there we go. Right, so we know it can definitely take photos. So now, on this one here, there's only 2 contacts, isn't there? So if we go here and here, and press this down, it should work. But I'm hoping it won't. Oh no. Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, it works. The switch works, so it's not that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow these tracks to see where they go. They obviously go down to here. So it's not a problem with the switch, is it? What a shame. Yeah, it's going all the way down to here. So now, I say it's not a problem with the switch, but there is a slim chance that this wasn't pressing against this properly. There is a slim chance. Well, you know what, it's not going to be that, is it? Let me put this little part back together, and then what we can do is we can flick the switch and we can see whether we're getting, let me count which one it's on here, and then we can see whether we're getting continuity between the ground, because this is just soldered to the big ground plane here, isn't it, and the pin every time we flip the switch. If it is, we know that this is okay. It's probably going to be a problem with the board itself. Right, so you ready? Stop. I won't have the strength to turn it on and keep it on that one. The one next to it is ground as well. There you go. So 100% this part here is okay. But at least now we know on the board that the 6th pin on the top row is the power one. So what we can do is, rather than give up just yet, we can now start tracing down from here on the 6th pin on the top row and see where it goes to. Do you know what it could be? Again, look here, BGA, BGA. These two are definitely BGA. So it could be the fact, and this one here, so it could be a fact that it was dropped and maybe the solder balls underneath these have shattered. So I'm just going to work out which is the 6th pin on this one and then see where it goes to. So I've plugged the power switch back in here via the ribbon cable, and I know which pin it comes up on. Annoyingly, it doesn't go anywhere, so I presume it probably goes back under the connector through a wire onto the other side. But let me just show you this bit here, and then I'll have to try and find it on the other side, but it's certainly not making it easy for me. So if you have a listen, I've got my leads on continuity. Now, we know that this is going to be a ground here, yeah? And if I was to go onto the 6th pin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this one here, can you see I've got something? Because the switch is on. Now I'm going to turn the switch to off, and now have a listen. Same pin again, this one here, and there's nothing there. Yeah, so we definitely know now. In fact, if I was just to put this in another ground, I can rest this on here, and then I can turn the switch on and you'll hear it go live. Okay, so it's this one here, turn the switch on, and off. So we definitely know now that this whole side here, including the connector and the ribbon cable, is okay. Yep, so what I have to do now is flip the board over and try to work out where this pin goes to on the other side. So I looked, and I looked some more. I cannot find where this wire is going to. So I'm pretty sure this is a multi-layer board, so it's not just top and bottom. I think there's middle traces in there. So I'm thinking it must be going on a middle trace somewhere. As far as I can see, it's not coming up on the other side. I soldered a little wire to it to make it easy for myself to trace it, and I still can't find it coming up anywhere. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to give up on trying to trace that switch line, because I thought that might be the problem. So now what I'm turning my attention to is going from the power. So you know the battery connections where we measured earlier on? I'm going to start going from there and see where it goes through. Okay, so here we are, and if you have a look here now, just test here again. 6.4, 6.4 through the fuse, 6.4 volts, and into this thing here, 6.4 volts. Just going to check here again, 6.4 and 6.4. Yeah, 6.4 there as well. Check the middle one, 6.4, and right, nothing on the bottom one. But where does it even go to after this? Again, is it just going to little wires underneath that? I don't know. Let's check this resistor thing here. No, nothing there. No, I can't see anything there. Check this big capacitor. Nothing. Nothing. Right, let's check these fuses here. Okay, we've got 6.4 volts there. And there. And here. And here. So it must travel from up here somewhere down through to here. Yeah, 6.4 there. But really we need to get to the other side of the board, don't we? Because this is all 6.4 here. So I'm just on the opposite side now of the battery contacts, and if you have a look, put the probe here, 6.4. This is like a fuse, we've got 6.4 there. It goes into, looks like a couple of diodes. I've definitely got 6.4 going into the diode there. Now I haven't got it on this side here, but maybe these are kind of like reverse polarity protection. But if I was to go to this little point here, I'd still have 6.4. Now this is the opposite side of the connector, the ribbon cable connector for the switch. Now look here, I've got 6.4 here. So that side's going to be ground, so I won't have anything there. Now, so 6.4 is going into this, definitely. I'm wondering, if 6.4 is going into this, I'm wondering whether that wire that I've run should be coming up on a via on one of these. 6.4, is this the problem here? Is it because this isn't getting the signal to turn on, which then can't push it through here, for example? Well, I'm going to keep looking at it, but I don't really know where to take it from here. Again, if I had a spare one, I could then measure it, and if, for example, every time I pressed a button, this went to like 3.2 volts or something like that, then I would know that I'd have more to go on, but really, I haven't got a clue what's happening. I'm thinking there's some issue around this area, but I don't really know. I've gone back to the old favourite of just taking the batteries out and just checking for shorts around the capacitors. So let's say now if I can take a ground, like so. Now if you have a look around the place, you can see, for example, tiny capacitor here, short one side, not the other. If you look at the bigger ones here, no short, short, and you would expect that side to short because you can see that all this area here is the ground plane. So we know now that, look, that's the ground there and that's not. And if you look here, you know that this is on the ground, but look, this capacitor is also short in this side here. And it does look like it's not a full short, but look at my meter here, just normal ohms. Let's see what reading we are getting. So this is the actual short side. Okay, it's a 2 ohm short, yeah? 1.6. Now let's go this side, see what it is actually reading. 4 ohms, so it's pretty, that's almost touching, isn't it? I think I'm quickly going to heat it up and remove that capacitor. And let's just see then, maybe it's this that's shorting which is stopping it from turning on. You never know, we could be lucky, it could be a capacitor problem. So we'll take the capacitor off and we'll test the pads. If the pads are shorting, it looks like they work their way into this chip. But look, let's not worry about it, let's get the capacitor off and then we'll see what's happening with the pads then. There we go. Right, let's get the multimeter straight on that and let's see if those pads are still shorting. Yeah, they're still shorting. So that leads down, looks like it goes through. Should I take the coil off as well? Right, so we can clearly see now that the capacitor is the thing that joins it to ground, and then we've got this one going down here, jumpers across the coil and goes into this chip on that pin just there, where it says 501 through to 0. So shorten, shorten, shorten. Oh, hold on a minute, not shorten, 1 second now. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's great news. But why is this shorting when it doesn't go anywhere else? Hold on a minute. This is the ground, yeah? Why is this shorting? Is there any wires there going to the other side? Oh, now this has suddenly got really interesting. So look, that's not shorting there. But it was, because of this coil, it was putting a short on that chip, wasn't it? Have I got this completely wrong? Do you reckon there are wires underneath there? I need to find out what's on the opposite side of the board to here. Right, so I've been searching for this trace here. I've got a wire on it now. And it's not coming up on this side of the board here. Just like, for example, this wire here, the on and off wire, is not coming up on that side of the board either. So it makes me think that this is definitely a multi-layer board. So I think what's going to happen is, I think that there's a chip somewhere that's shorted, and I think this has been dropped because of the break on the tripod mounts here, and that's what's broken it. Maybe it was on at the time when it dropped, and then it got some surge and shorted out a chip. So now, what am I going to do? I'm going to put voltage into this and see what warms up. I've had a look. You can't get these spare boards. They used to sell them AliExpress, but not anymore. And the cameras look to be around £80 working on eBay, but nobody's selling the motherboards on their own. So yeah, let's put voltage into it and see if we can see what's warming up. I've got my little bit of IPA here ready to go. I've got my bench power supply here, which I very rarely use. So I'm going to set it to, let's set it to 1 volt. There we go. And let's check out the amps. Put them together. Right, let's lower that down. Let's set it to 1 volt, 2 amps. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is plug on this to the ground. Can you see this nice big ground plane here? So I'm going to plug that on there, like so. And we're going to plug this on here. And let's see what's happened here. Right, okay, so it's 1 volt and it's drawing 1.2 amps. So it's in constant voltage mode at the moment here. So that's what's currently being used now. But I can try to up the voltage a little bit, but 1 volt should be safe for components and stuff. Right, I can feel something getting warm. It's coming from the middle of the board. I think it's coming from the CPU, or is it above it? Yes, this is getting warm here. That's not good. It's only warm though, just lukewarm. It's not very hot at all. Yeah, I don't even think the IPA is going to really come off that, but let me zoom in just to show you so I can sort of prove that it's that chip that's getting warm, where it comes off first. Yeah, there you go. Can you see the chip here? Straight away there. So if you compare that there to the RAM next to it, you can see the RAM's staying, that's staying, but look at that middle bit there. Yeah, you can see it there. So it's this chip that's faulty. Now, what would be interesting is, do you see it's kind of coming away there? I mean, we can almost pinpoint where that is. I wonder whether that bit, if I take that chip off, I wonder whether that's where this trace is going to go to. Should we do that? Because look, this can't be fixed anyway. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, if a new circuit board comes up in the future, then I will be able to fix it. but I'm confident that track up here definitely shouldn't be shorting, and I can't find it anywhere on the board because the problem is it's ground, isn't it? At this moment in time it's ground, so it's coming up everywhere and all the ground points. But look, we can pinpoint that there. So I'll tell you what, let's put some flux on this one here. Oh, actually, no, let's check the other side first just to make sure there's no, that it's not capacitors on the other side. Because we have got capacitors underneath here. Just going to put it all over this area here, see if we can see it burning off from anywhere. No, there's nothing obvious there at the moment. No, and I can feel the warmth, but the warmth is in the board. Yeah, when I do that now, so I zoom out a bit, I can feel that my finger is hotter than my thumb. So I'm confident that it's this. I'm confident that it's this chip here. So let's get some flux around it, take it off, and then we'll see if the pad from here is actually going to that part of the chip there. Now remember, this isn't going to work. This is just purely to learn, to see if we can find out where it'd be nice to prove the short directly into the chip. Here we go. Yes! The short's gone. Excellent, look at that. Right, now, let's see if this is... Sorry, let me zoom out a bit so you can see. So, you know the wire here that we've done. It's no longer shorted. So, 100%, it was something to do with this chip. Oh, here we go. There. Okay, it's coming up there. Anywhere else? Yes? No. Right, so it's coming up here somewhere. I'll zoom in a minute and we'll actually find exactly where it is. So it's coming up over here. Over here somewhere. Oh, and in the middle. Right, we'll have to find them in a minute. Let's see if the on and off switch is coming up at all. I hope it is, because that's still a mystery to me where that one's gone. No, that's not coming up here. Still would love to know where that's coming up, you know. This is underneath this one here. Right, I'm going to find out exactly where this one's coming up, and then we might be able to find out where that is on the chip, because we know the chip went on this way here. And if I can find the exact balls, then we can find out which ones are the ground, and then we might be able to find out and prove the short into here. I'm just going to work that out. We've got it coming up here. You see these two, which are joined? Yep. And we've got it here. Nothing all around here, and then we have a huge amount here. Look, can you see this run here? These four going down, 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 these four across here, winding up, and these four here. Nowhere else. I found the problem, as far as I can see, it is the chip. So check this out. This is the way the chip's supposed to go on here. Now remember, it was burning up here, exactly here, yeah? And now watch this. If I flip it over, I've checked all of the other balls and they're okay, apart from the bit where it's burning. So now, we know that this middle section here is the grounds, yeah? This bit here, and we want to be looking at this track here. Can you see the one going around here, around here, around here to here? So we know this middle one here is grounds, so that's going to be my ground. Now check this out. So we need to go 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 along, and that will start the square. So 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 along. So this is the square here. You can see it's not shorting. Then we go up on this outer one here, 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 here. Still not shorting, still not shorting, still not shorting. then we go across one, don't we, to there. Then we go up to here diagonally. Here, see, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. I'm just going to swap my probes to make it easy for myself. So now we're going down here, and we go along to the third ones here, and then we go down here, here, here. Now look at this. Can you see this square here? This square is what? 1, 2, 3 from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 from there is where it starts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. This is the fault. Look, so the rest of the track is okay. Can you see there? Fine, there, fine. But look, these 4 are shorting to ground. And they shouldn't be shorting to ground, should they? Because that's where, if we zoom out, well, you know the blue wire that was attached to earlier. Yeah. And you can see that's coming up here, but also along here. So although this track is all joined, obviously it's not joined as far as this is concerned, but because it's short in here, it's short in everything else here, and it is it does look a pretty good short. But the thing is, the rest of it is not the rest of it is not shorting, which makes me think that that must be the fault. So if you have a look here, if I was to go to normal ohms, I'm going to go here. I'm just going to use my eye loop to see where I am. Right, so that's the short there. It's jumping around quite a bit. There you go, a 3 ohm short. And considering it's not on the rest of the track, and considering that's where the burn-in was, I mean, I'd love it if it came up with a 1 ohm short. Let's see what my leads are. There you go, my leads are all over the place anyway. But my leads are less, aren't they? Well, not now, they're not. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that that is where the problem is. So there we have it. It looks like this little chip is at fault, the Sanyo EV4X1. Now this is in loads and loads and loads of different cameras, but yeah, I can't find this for sale on eBay or on Google. But even if I could find it for sale, it's got 24 balls by 24 balls. So even with that middle bit taken out, there's over 200 solder balls in there, which is smaller than your thumb. So you're going to need proper BGA equipment to get that back on. And I think even if you had proper equipment, I still believe that that is going to be hard to place and get on perfectly. There's no way I'd be able to do that with my hot air. So unfortunately this video is a failure, but it's not a failure because I thoroughly enjoyed the chasing off that fault. So now some people are probably going to say, Vince, you caused the fault on the chip by putting voltage into it, but remember, it was only 1 volt 1 amp, which is not much at all. Yes, this chip may take less than that, but it's unlikely. But remember, before putting any voltage in, there was a short on the capacitor which shouldn't be there, and the coil, because why would there be a short on the capacitor and coil? And then when we put voltage into it, we've seen the area that was heating up, and that corresponds to where this goes, and it also corresponds to the short on the chip. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no doubt in my mind that there is the faulty culprit. But listen, if I am wrong, if you know I'm wrong, don't just guess, but if you know I'm wrong, please put it down in the comments, because we will all learn from that. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think even a professional would have been able to get this to work unless they had a spare chip and BGA equipment. So I thoroughly enjoyed the chasing off the fault in this one. The only thing I'm a bit disappointed about is not knowing where this on and off switch goes, but I might spend a little bit longer trying to find out where that goes. Maybe that goes under this little BGA chip here. That would be quite interesting to know. So yeah, that is it for this video. Massive thanks to Lee for sending this out to me. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe for more Trying to Fix videos. Take care. Bye now.